Now, how's it going, Pog Champs? The video is going to start with me squeaking in my chair, isn't it? Because I decided to sit up when I said that. Okay, that's awesome. Actually, let me turn up the sensitivity. I turned this down a little while ago because I was working on I had a fan behind me and I didn't want it to be picked up. So this is Clear Cami. Hi, this is a new persona I'm trying out. This is where you can actually hear me clearly, you know? Gotta try the new persona out. So right now I'm leveling up Aloy, you know. I've been grinding her. As you can see, I'm 70. And I got a rust bow at level 80 that I literally got like 2 days ago. And this is basically what we're talking about in the video. No, not this adorable face that for some reason she looks incredibly young if you zoom out, and she's incredibly short, almost like a chibi, but we're not gonna be talking about that. We're gonna be talking about this weapon here, this fancy weapon. So without further ado, oh yeah, before that, I have a code on screen that I totally remembered to put up, and that is a code that you most likely didn't use. I got it from Enviosity's video. Yes, I got it from Enviosity's video, so go check him out. It wasn't on one of the live streams. It was like a secret code, a spooky secret code for spooky seasons, I guess. But yeah, I just wanted to spread this code around in case nobody watched Enviosity or knew who he was. So anyways, without further ado, let's go into the topic of the video today. And that topic is not this sexy beast right there, but this weapon banner. Ooh, should you wish on it? Should you? Let's find out. So right now we're looking at one of the best weapon for Tartaglia right here that goes with his banner, of course, but his best weapon chilling over here with another alright weapon. But then we got these weapons too. So if you roll this, let's say 30 times, and you don't get a 5-star, is it worth getting one of these weapons? Is it worth rolling on this at all if you're free to play? Probably not. Probably not if you're free to play, but I'm mostly free to play. I just buy Welcome Moon, and I rolled on it about 10 times and I got a rust bow, which is Tartaglia's best in slot purple weapon. So that's really nice. We have both of Tartaglia's best weapons on this one banner, which is extremely high. So since I was just talking about rust, what does rust do? So what rust does is it scales up with attack percent, which is nice, and it has a pretty good base attack. But the best part is this: increases normal attack damage by 40%, but decreases charge attack damage by 10%. So Tartaglia is really good for charge attacking, but this is such a massive increased number that there's no reason for you not to run this, even if it makes your charge attack damage a little less. This is just such a fat increase that there's no way to go wrong rolling this, and still just you'll still bodies. That's why this is considered Tartaglia's best in slot weapon. Even though he's supposed to be spamming his charge attacks, this is just such a high percentage that it doesn't matter. You won't be spamming his charge attacks anymore. So that's incredible. But what about the rest of the what if you don't get a rust? Let's see this Eye of Perception. So the passive, first we have attack percent, which is always pretty nice, and we have a base attack. And let's see, Echo. Normal and charge attacks have a 50% chance to fire a bolt of perception, dealing 240% attack as damage. This bolt can bounce between opponents a maximum of 4 times. This effect can occur once every 12 seconds. So if you use a catalyst user, this is actually pretty nice. That's an insane amount of scaling, 240%. It's not as high as some of the other weapons. For, let's say, Claymore users, they get like a base 300% attack bonus damage in an AoE, but the nice thing about this is that it bounces up to 4 times. So some people, most of the time when you're using a Claymore and you have the one that gives you that bonus 300% damage, you'll hit somebody, but it'll only hit that one person. You're basically 99% of the time, unless you have them all sucked up with like a venti or something like that, you're only going to hit one person. This is nice because it's spread out up to 4 times and it has a lower cooldown. The Claymore Claymore weapon has a 15-second cooldown. This is only a 12-second cooldown. So we're hitting some pretty good scaling, a pretty fat number here with good stats, and we're hitting that every 12 seconds. And if you get more of them and you refine this, it'll hit even harder and have a lower cooldown. So this overall is a pretty nice weapon to have. So Favonius Lance. So most of the Favonius weapons are really good. They're just basically support weapons. You can't go wrong with them. They have energy recharge, base attack, and whenever you crit, it has, crit, let me just read it. Crit hits have a 60% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which will regen 6 energy for that character. It can only occur once every 12 seconds. So it has the same timer as that catalyst, but the nice thing is that the energy recharge, and with this passive, it's a support character. It just lets you spam your ultimate more. So if you're running, let's say Jingling, I hope I said that right, then you can have her ultimate up more often and you can just body. It's pretty straightforward. Let's skip over this one because this is a new one. Let's go Favonius Sword. Same concept. It has energy recharge, base attack, and it has the same support thing. So it's the same concept for the Lance, except this is for sword users, which means it's still really nice. And I believe this is new. Man, that looks nice. I didn't realize that's a waterfall. It's pretty nice looking. So we have, oh, it's a claymore. I thought this was a sword when I first looked. I didn't read this. So it's a claymore apparently, with attack percent and base attack. And the passive is called Watatsumi Wave Walker, which is pretty sick. Look at that. That is a nice design. Very sleek. I love it. Reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, like the Kingdom Heart Keyblade. But for every point of the entire party's combined maximum energy capacity, the elemental burst damage of the character equipped with this weapon is increased by 0.12% for a maximum of 40% increased elemental burst damage can be achieved this way. This actually sounds insane. I didn't read this one, but this sounds incredible. Let me just read that one more time. For every point of the entire party's combined maximum energy capacity. So for the maximum energy capacity, so that means whenever you have an ultimate, I believe that means whenever you have an ultimate that's 80 cost, that's the maximum energy capacity that they can have. And if you have a bunch of people with like 80 costs, it goes up by 0.12% until you have a 40% increased elemental burst damage. This a 40% increased elemental burst sounds like a 5-star stat. That sounds absolutely incredible, and I think that would hit insane. That's just like the Sea Lord. We just got a claymore called the Sea Lord, and that only gave us what, a 15% increase. I know it's a flat 15% increase constantly, but this is over double. This is 40%. This means you're going to be hitting massive numbers if you can get this maxed out. So that is actually, if you get this, you'd probably be hyped, because I would instantly level this up if it was me. If I got this, I would instantly level this up and try it on everyone that I had with a claymore. Even if I don't even spam, like a Noelle, if this was a defense stat and you had a Noelle, oh my god, Noelle will be sitting kids down. She'll be laying them down to bed and tucking them in for night time. So yeah, for all the purple weapons, I think you cannot go wrong for getting any of these. These are all solid picks. Now the Favonius weapons, they're very basic and they've been around since the dawn of time. I'm pretty sure they're base weapons that came out with the game. So those aren't very hype if you already have them. I already have a bunch of them. But getting a Rust or the new Claymore, that would be fat. Even an Eye of Perception, I know that's been around for a long time, but even getting that out just to try it, that would be pretty nice if you like to use Catalyst characters. Next up is the 2 5-star weapons if you are lucky. So if we go over to the first one, which you probably won't want, it has a pretty nice, look at that, pretty nice attack percent increase with a base attack of 46 starting out. And the passive reads: increases shield strength by 20%, scoring hits on opponents increases attack by 4% for 8 seconds. Max 5 stacks, can only occur once every 0.3 seconds while protected by a shield. This attack increase effect increased by 100%. That sounds pretty nice. So what I think about this weapon is it would be really good, except it's a catalyst, so you're probably... I just realized that's Zhongli's ultimate coming in. So this would be really good, except it's a catalyst, so... This would be fat on Ningguang. Alright, this would be really nice on Ningguang, because you have it's a catalyst user, you have constantly, you're dropping shields and doing elemental reactions and stuff. You could even run this with like a double Geo and have your increased shield strength with both maybe a Zhongling and a Ningguang, and you have those both just tanking you up, so you're going to be unkillable. But they also added corrosion as a status effect for the new wolves. So that's also something you're gonna have to watch out for. If you have something that you're fighting with a corrosion and you're fighting it with this weapon and you have like a double shield, then this weapon's shield stat doesn't even matter. This increased shield strength doesn't matter at all because they're just chunking through it anyway. You're gonna have to be healing up anyway, so there's no reason to run this type of weapon. But if you end up getting this and you have a maxed out Ningguang, then you're probably going to be pretty hyped. It sounds pretty good, but I'd have to try it out. I'm not a whale. I can't try it, but you know, check out a whale, the guide. And the Polar Star, the game changer that is... Oh, okay, it's not as long as the other sword that came out with Kazuha. Kazuha's sword, you had a scroll feature that like freaking 5 paragraphs, and then it had a story section for you to read the lore of. So this is massive. Crit rate, it has, I believe, one of the highest crit rates for bows. Don't quote me on that. It has massive crit rate that you can get from this. It's gorgeous. First of all, look at its spin. It has base attack as its stat. Then it has the game-changing passive called Daylight's Augury, I think it's called. Elemental skill and elemental burst damage increased by 12%. Already really nice. After a normal attack, charge attack, or elemental skill or elemental burst. So basically, if you hit them with anything that the character has, hits an opponent, 1 stack of Ashen Night Star will be gained for 12 seconds. When 1, 2, 3, or 4 stacks of Ashen Night Star are present, attack is increased by 10%, 20, 30, or 48%. Very weird number. The stack of Ashen Night Star created by the normal attack, charge attack, elemental skill, or elemental burst will be counted independently of each other's. So you're going to want to hit them with your basic attack. You're going to want to hit them with your elemental skill, your burst, and your charge attack, and you're going to have to keep cycling through all those to keep this 48% up. So for Tartaglia, if you hit them just with a basic attack, it might be, the way that it works for Tartaglia, it might be where you have to either pop your E ability and be touching them for it to trigger, but most likely it's gonna probably trigger both. If you're in your E stance, it's probably gonna be triggered both by just basic attacking them, because you're hitting them with your E ability by being on your melee stance, and you're also hitting them with basic attacks. So it might count that as 2 stacks instantly, which would be massive. So you're getting 2 stacks with your E just by basic attacking, then you get your next stack by hitting them with a charge attack, then you hit them with your ultimate, and then you got that massive, you have the 700+% passive, or the 700+% scaling for your ultimate, which is insane. That goes on top of your passive for Tartaglia, which is that little marker that increases your damage dealt whenever you hit them with any ability, basically. And you have that stacking with another 48%. So you got 48 on top of the ult, you have 48 on top of his passive. You hit him with anything, you have this 12% stacking on top of that. People call this a stat stick. Hell yes, it's a stat stick. It is a stat stick that sends him right to the moon, baby. If you thought Tartaglia was hidden weak before, if you get this, you're gonna be rocketing up You're gonna be able to one phase the spiral abyss. You're gonna walk in with and pop your E, and then everything's gonna die, and then you're gonna put your E down. You're hit him with a basic attack. Everything's gonna die again. You're gonna have a second death on your hands. This is incredible. So if you saw Ito, the new character coming out, and Goro, that's coming out next patch, that's not a spoiler or anything. They've already showcased that on their Twitter. If you don't like those two characters, if you don't like the Hu Tao rerun, you just got Tartaglia and you're height, and you don't have a rust bow to go with him, and you obviously don't have a polar star unless you're a whale, then you're not even watching this video. You already have it, and you're laughing at me while I'm saying how good it is, huh? You're laughing at me, huh? So if you have all these, if you don't have rust or polar star or any of these purple weapons, this is a fat like, just try. I hit this for 10 wishes. Make sure you have a cap set in mind. Don't go over that cap. Just be it's okay if you want, maybe like if you want Ito, the next new character coming out in the next patch, you want that character, then just, it's okay. Characters are way more important than weapons. Weapons just make characters more fun. But if you've been having Tartaglia, since this is his second rerun, or if you just want, you just want to make him better, it's gonna be nice to making him better, but you're gonna get bored of that. You're gonna hit high numbers, yeah, but it's like, okay, I hit high numbers, now I'm bored of Tartaglia, time to move on to the D-Luke I pulled. Well, new characters, they offer new move sets, they offer new ways to build, more stuff for you to grind to level up. They offer a lot of stuff for you to do, and it's just way more enjoyable to get a new character and try all the new characters kits out and their design and everything about them, instead of just picking up something to make your Tartaglia a little better. But if you're lucky to get either a rust or a polar star, those are both like S tier things for him. That won't go wrong, and this is like a really good banner, a really good weapon. Like, out of all the weapon banners, this is probably one of the best ones, especially because of the 5-star that's coming out with it. So hit this a couple times. I'm rambling now. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, Johnny.